All right, hey, what's going on? My name is Shaan, and in this video, I want to talk about panic attacks and driving. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to panic attacks and driving, and it's also one of the more debilitating activities that occur with people who are struggling with panic attacks. So I kind of wanted to go a little deep in this video and explain really what's going on, what the misconceptions are, why is it so difficult, and what steps you can really take to actually overcome this issue. So the first thing I really want to talk about is the misconceptions, okay? Now, most people think people who are suffering from panic attacks that don't want to drive, it's the actual act of driving that they're scared of, which is kind of incorrect. Really what you're experiencing if you're struggling with panic attacks and fearful of driving is the fact that if you're driving and you have a panic attack, you're going to lose control, or you're not going to be able to escape, or you're not going to be able to run away in time, and you're going to feel trapped. This is actually the difference, and this is the misconception. A lot of people think that, well, it's just because it's the actual act of driving. No, really what you're saying is that really people struggling with panic attacks are really struggling with the fact of what happens if I get a panic attack. So this is something I really want to talk about because it's one of the more debilitating things that occur in someone who's struggling with panic attacks. And that's because driving is such a daily activity. It's so important in your day-to-day life. It's so important to get to, your work, or picking up your kids, or even going to the doctor, or just anything. If you can't drive, you're kind of trapped. And so in this video, I kind of really want to get a little bit deeper into this and why this happens. Now, before I continue talking, it's really important for you to take an honest look at yourself and say, well, am I just an erratic driver in general? Am I a dangerous driver in general? Because if that's the case, you probably need to get that figured out first. But chances are you're probably a fine driver. You're probably really normal. You probably haven't had any traffic tickets. You're a safe driver, but you're dealing with these panic attacks, and you're just trying to hope that you don't get a panic attack in the middle of driving. Now, what do people do when they have panic attacks while driving? What do they typically do? Oftentimes they'll avoid expressways, or they'll avoid freeways. Now, the purpose of that is really because cars are going on high speeds, and exits are intermittent, so it's not really easy to escape. So what often they'll do is they'll take side roads, or they'll go through neighborhoods. That's one thing some people do. Some other people, when they feel a panic attack coming, they try to distract themselves. They try to put on music. They roll down the windows. They start humming anything they can to kind of distract themselves. Hopefully they don't get a panic attack. So these are kind of some of the things that occur. Sometimes some other people need other people in the car just to make sure, or worst case, they'll just avoid driving in general. They'll just avoid it in any means possible. They'll just prefer to Uber, or they just won't leave their house. Now, here's the important thing. When we're told we have a panic attack, we're told that the way over a panic attack is through a panic attack, which is true. So when that happens, it tends to be a very passive experience. If you're having a panic attack anywhere else, you can just relax a little bit and just not, maybe engage, and just let it happen, and you overcome it. But driving is a little bit unusual because you're operating a vehicle. You're operating a powerful vehicle, and you kind of need to be in control. And this is what really stumps people, and this is what really kind of makes panic attacks and driving a little tricky. And now here's the key. Panic attacks are notorious for making you feel like you're out of control. So when you're driving and you get a panic attack, there's a sense that you're not in full control. And the reality is that the panic attack is actually tricking you. And I know this because I struggled with this myself. And the idea that panic attacks, when you're in the midst of a panic attack, you have no control, the feeling is there, that sense is there. But the reality is anything but. Quite honestly, if you're struggling with a panic attack, it's very easy to be dealing with a panic attack and driving at the same time. The sense of out of control feeling is a little bit more exaggerated in the midst of a panic attack. And that's really because you're having a lot of anxious energy kind of leave your body, and it feels like you have no control, but the reality is you do. And quite often, this is actually what stumps people. And the best way around that really is to drive and really push yourself, and when you do have panic attacks, try to see for what it is, a panic attack, and try to go through it. So the important thing is to notice this. You're actually in control. Panic attacks are great at fooling you like you're not, but you actually are. Hopefully this was great value. Hopefully you guys found some great info. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, let me know your comments, and thank you for watching. All right, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you guys want to know more, I have something amazing to offer you, which is my private Facebook group. Now, in this Facebook group, I'm posting exclusive content that I'm not posting anywhere else. I'm not posting this on YouTube. I'm not posting this on Instagram. This is content specifically for the Facebook group. Now, this Facebook group is pretty exclusive. We're very selective on who we're adding and who we're not. Of course, this Facebook group is going to be free, so if you want, go ahead and click the link below. When you hit the link below, it's going to give you a request icon. Once you hit request, it's going to ask you a series of questions. It's really important for you guys to answer those questions as best as possible. Again, we want to include as many people as possible in this Facebook group, but we're also trying to maintain the integrity of it. We don't want this just to be another anxiety group where people start mentioning their symptoms or just complaining or venting. This is a place that I really want to help people kind of overcome their anxiety. I really want to help answer questions and give comments and post really good info that help you fully overcome it. So go ahead and click the link below, and I'll see you inside.